past semester, we have been able to read the book Shift by Derek Debray. I first remember getting an email from Professor Underberg and saying that we were going to be reading this book, and I was so excited because I was like, well, I work at the WAC and I know Derek personally, so I thought it was really exciting to be able to read a book from someone that you actually know and get their real world experiences. I think it's definitely made me a little bit more interested in reading the book. I know reading books like my economic book, not super fun to read and really have to push myself to read it. But this one made it more interesting just because I knew the person. So for chapter 7, it talks about execution. And I really enjoyed the quote. I always enjoy the quotes that he actually puts on his chapters in the beginning because I think they're really explain what he's going to be talking about in the chapter. So for the first, for chapter 7's quote, it was, I tell the players that they can't relive any day in their lives and they can't relive the minutes of a game. So they should make a great effort, a Mount Everest type effort to live up to their potential. And I thought that really spoke to me about field hockey just because I'm always, you want to make the best of what you have left. You only have 4 years of playing a college sport, so you want to give it your all. And that's kind of the same thing in life. Like, you want to give it your all every single day because you don't know when your last day will be. So I just thought that was kind of really inspiring. So in the chapter, he kind of talks about, in the beginning, doing something over and over and wanting to get the outcome that you want, but end up getting the same thing over and over again. And I thought that was interesting because it kind of reminds me of field hockey again. Basically, I was told in field hockey, if you're going the same, like one-on-one against someone and you're not changing the way you're doing something and they keep taking the ball away from you, change of speed, change of direction. That usually ends up working in a game. It also works in real life too, because if you're stuck in a situation where you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting one result but getting the same one, you have to step back, think, okay, how can I relive, or how can I change my approach on how I'm handling the situation to get the outcome that I want. And then changing speed too, like slowing down, thinking about what you want to do next, and then hopefully getting that outcome, or at least a different outcome than what you've been getting in the past. On page 113, Derek says, your passions are simply what matters to you. They help you get started. Your execution is designing your life around what matters to you. It drives you to the finish line. So your passions are what sets the goal, but your execution is how you get to that goal. And I think that's really interesting, and how you kind of goes back to the attitude aspect of it. Like, how can you use your attitude to get to where you want to be? He also says on page 113, there's no linear path or exact number of steps required for the behaviors. Second, there is also always more than one way for you to execute. Just like your definition or success and your passions must be personalized, your execution must be personalized as well. Like, life has multiple different paths, and you can take each one and get a different outcome. So I think that really explains kind of how you can kind of control your life around the passions that you want. You may have the same passion as someone else, but it's how you use that passion to get to where you want to be. So then there are the 10 behaviors to execute your vision X's. So doing it afraid. This kind of really, it really is affecting me right now personally, just because, you kind of have to, being a graduate of college, you have to kind of push yourself to do something you may not want to do or may not have wanted to do 4 years ago. People are going to reject you, and that's okay. And, you're going to apply for jobs and you may not get them, and that's life, But one day you're going to get to where you actually want to be, and you're going to look back and realize, okay, I didn't take the route that I thought I had to take, but I still got to where I wanted to be. Setting a deadline is the second behavior. And then commit to your daily U zones. So the U zone, I'm just redefine it, is an intentional daily routine in which you invest alone time with no interruptions to work on your executing your visions, passions, and priorities. If you spend a Monday in flow, you can take the rest of the week off and still get more done than your steady state partners. So I kind of interpret it as, just take time out of your day, get away from your job, get away from your schoolwork, and just focus on one thing, on your vision and how you want to achieve it. And then you'll get to where you want to be. So discovering your 60Xer on page 128. So the question is, in the next few months, what project has the potential of giving you 60 times your return from your 60-minute Eat the Banana session every day? So I thought about this long and hard about what I could do to improve where I am now and where I want to be. Being a sport hospitality business major, there's a lot going on right now, especially with the virus and the pandemic. And I think just taking 60 minutes each day just to kind of read a reliable article about how a pandemic changes your sport and how it can affect the major sports around the world. And I think that would help me get to where I want to be in the next few months, because then hopefully I can get a job within the sport business major and figure out if this happens again, then I kind of can relay back to my articles that I read now and be able to help the obstacle in my job that I can get through. The third one is scheduling your to-dos. So reality checks. Are we actually really that busy? I know I like to schedule my day, and especially in college, you had so much going on, work and school and projects, and I think that building a schedule around what you want to do and what you have to do is important, because then you can kind of pick and choose the things that are important, and then also pick and choose the things that you really wanted to get done that day. So the next behavior is learning to say no. This is a huge one for me because I am not great at saying no. I say yes to a lot of things and then realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. This actually happened to me back in March. I was kind of pressured into going to do this internship that I didn't fully want to do, given the past experiences that I've had doing something like this. And I said yes anyways, because I was a little peer pressured. And I ended up backing out of it. And I felt horrible, and it just killed me inside saying no to the person that was giving me this amazing opportunity. But I realized, I gotta look out what's best for me, look out for myself, and figure out how I can fit things into my life. And this internship just didn't fit into where I was at the time. Next one is trying new things, not waiting for a raise or promotion. It's okay to just go out and try new things. And that goes back to the first behavior of doing it afraid. If you really want to do something, I think that you should just do it, because you never know where you're going to end up. Mentoring up. So the 9 lessons, Derek talks about his mentor teaching him about leadership. Leading yourself, going first, seeing their potential, knowing their dream. I think it's all huge. A good mentor, he says, will unleash your passions, guide your growth, and encourage your success. And I think that's important. And personally, I have a lot of mentors in my life right now, I think. All my professors, I think, are really stepping up, especially with what's going on, and really helping and guiding students into the success of graduating or just finishing the semester on a good note. So then it talks about being dedicated is staying devoted to a task or purpose. Dedication is viewed as positive. And I think that's important because I think dedication is huge and you don't really get a whole lot of it, because I like to relate dedication to loyalty, and I feel like nowadays people aren't as loyal to maybe their job or their school or their team, and really aren't dedicating themselves to their role in that position. And I think that's important. I think that's a great life skill to have. You know, if you're dedicated to your job, then people are going to see that and they're going to know that you work hard, and hopefully that'll move you up into a better position than you once were. Lastly, for chapter 7, talks about growth is neither easy nor an accident, but it's worth it. It's the result of just the right attitude, passion, and execution. So basically, it's saying like once you put all these things together and do what you really want to do, then you'll be able to grow as a person and in your career, and you can use those skills then for other things and maybe to even help other people grow themselves. So I thought chapter 7 was really relatable, and I understood a lot of it, and it could easily just I think personally, like, my thing that I need to work on the most is saying no to people, and saying no to the right things. Not just saying no because you don't want to, but also saying no to things that you think maybe won't benefit you in the future. Like, I know I learned a lot of experiences from saying yes to the Super Bowl last year. I was afraid and I didn't want to do it alone. I actually ended up finding out a couple people that were going with me, so it helped me a little bit along the way because I'm a homebody. So, but I think once I got over that hump of saying yes to something and, you know, being nervous and being afraid to do it, I think it really helped me and really made me grow as a person. So that's the one thing I definitely need to work on more.